And that's us. Hey, everybody. We're here. And audio is good, and regular checks are good. So, yeah, I think we're good to go. Um, cool. Today, we're going to talk about AI stuff. Big shocker, right? Because that's basically what everyone's been talking about. And we're going to talk about all the different models and the new things that are coming out, and more importantly, the pricing about things. And people are like, oh, if I just enter 27 prompts, everything will be wonderful. And the truth is, it is wonderful until you get that monthly bill and you're like, why do I owe $15,000 for what I ran?
Yeah,
Especially when you're like, oh, I'm just going to build a GPT wrapper. And then you release that GPT wrapper, and then everyone's like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. And they start using your tokens.
yes, that's really it. I don't think I think we're kind of like in these waves, right? So first, everyone had GT wrapper apps, and then GT and um, every other platform basically removed a lot of that functionality by producing that inside of the platform. So that was helpful and destructive at the same time. But some of these bills, I hear a lot of people complaining about the cost of these things, and I mean, I I just it's AI, but also it's just people not understanding what it really costs to build things.
Yeah, I don't
Because
think
even,
they,
cause
they,
even if
they
we're talking
realized.
about AWS or Vercel bills, like I see a lot of those too. I see a lot of people going, "Hey, yo, what's going on with this bill?"
Yeah,
You know?
AWS, I like the big clouds, Azure, AWS, and GCP. They all like will give you a free tier,
Mm-hmm.
and you will hit that free tier within, I don't know, an hour. And then you'll be like, oh, so remember when you set it up, here's a pro tip: set up a budget and
Yep.
shut it down when you hit that budget.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yep. So one thing that I'm enjoying using Replit for is that they have a tier that will spin down when not in use,
Oh, that's cool.
right? And it's just like it is kind of pretty oblivious to someone, but when someone tries to hit it, they'll spin it up. I've been using Replit for probably close to 4 months, but now I'm using it pretty much every day. Like I reached my limit, what I paid for a limit. So they've changed their pricing structure quite a bit. Like they keep changing it, but at the end of the day, it just involves credits for me because I paid for the whole year when I signed up.
What is Replit's pricing? I didn't look that one up.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to
Yeah, I'm looking at it. Oh, it's
see.
$15 a month.
Well,
Or
that's new. So it's $15 a month, and you can get about. They say you can get about 3 apps out of that.
yeah, build per month, build annually. So 15 times 12. So yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
And then they have optional add-ons with auto scale deployments, static deployments.
yeah. So mine, I think it's the auto scale one that I'm thinking.
Wait. Oh, outbound. I was like, you got to be paying because static deployments is free usage, but they're like, but you're responsible for outbound data transfer. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, there it is.
Aha. Aha.
Yeah, that's funny. Reserve VM deployment, $7 a month. Wait, if you could get a reserved VM, that's kind of all you need for hosting.
I wonder how much can you host on it.
But here's the thing that keep in mind that's a VM, and that does not necessarily calculate compute, because then they have here. Let me just pull this up for those that are watching. Let's see if I can. Yeah, this will be a good test of that. So we come here, and can you see it?
Yes.
Great. So in here, you have your reserve deployments, $7 a month, and then scalable compute at 36 cents an hour. But yeah, here's the core. Let's see what you got for 8 gigs. That's actually, I mean, you get 100. I mean, for the core, which is $15 a month, you actually get 100 gigs of outbound transfer covered.
Yep.
Unlimited public apps. It supports private apps and 3 collaborators.
It's not bad.
Look at Replit go.
And it's gotten really good. But so has V0. I feel like because
Yeah, let me
again,
pull that up too. Whoops, that not that. V0. There it is. And with V0, you can do, yeah, you can do so much with V. What? Do they really have this? Look at that.
mm-hmm.
And that's on V0.
That's interesting.
Can I jump? I can't jump. Oh, but it does. It does the mouse controls and everything.
That's pretty cool.
Sorry.
Well, this is Maximo, right? That looks like a Maximo model. I wonder, can you skin it?
I'm sure you can. It's probably just a GLB.
Mm-hmm.
Click on the scene to lock and unlock mouse controls. Um, oh, there we go. Yeah, they have so much view details. What is this? This is one of their Kickstarter things. But like the amount of stuff that V0 has gotten crazy.
Dude, so one, you can pull directly from Figma, and I haven't gotten it to work. So let me say that, like, I haven't gotten it fully to work, but you should be able to pull your Figma design directly into V0 and get going,
Yeah,
which is
this
crazy.
I've never looked at all of their from the community.
Yeah, I've never looked at this stuff from the community. I should probably look at it because you can remix stuff.
Well, you
Yeah.
can and you can open it. You can clone it
Mhm.
and start using it.
Yeah. One
I
thing that
I love
um
fun animations.
loading bubbles. Um Also in V0 where I didn't notice this before, I saw somebody else do this. You can select visually an area that you want to change.
Really?
Yeah, yeah. I was like, did I not? I've been using this a lot. I'm like, I didn't see that before. Like if you open something, there's up in the corner, there's like an arrow where you can actually select part of the UI
Okay,
and say like,
we're gonna
so
do
you see the
this
little
live.
arrow,
This thing.
yeah. And so grab something and be like, hey, I want you to change it.
Uh, make this a light blue.
To me, this is like, okay, I had to really think about this. Like, this changes a lot. Like, because, like, when you're working through your UI, it takes a lot of time and patience. Like, you got to keep telling it stuff and telling it stuff. And you're sending it screenshots. And now you can just select the component and say, hey, do this.
Oh my God! Look at that. There you go.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so I'm gonna play with V0 this weekend.
Yeah, I'm already into it. I built a client app and it has an MQTT server, and we're sending messages and stuff. And I was dragging my feet a little bit because I was like, I was very happy with the dashboard that I built, but building the server functionality, I was like, oh, this is going to be a mess, and it wasn't. It was like very easy.
Yeah, that selection thing is crazy.
hmm And then if you, I think if you create a new um, chat,
New
the
project.
paperclip. Hit the paperclip first. Oh, well, projects in themselves is great, but hit the paperclip. No, see the next to the paperclip, it says import from Figma.
Yeah, it says Figma files right here.
I didn't even see that. So yeah.
But let's see what. Yeah, let's
Now one challenge that I
add
had
from
with
Figma. Yeah,
yeah yeah one challenge that I had with using screenshots is that it can only be 5 MB. So I was running in circles trying to get this image down to 5 MB. I ended up making a PDF, and that worked pretty well.
that's really yeah. So when you uploaded a PDF, did it actually take it and run?
It got on the playing field. It got confused with what I was showing it, but the general theme it absolutely did.
This is crazy. So I got a question about V0. So one of the things that
Mm-hmm.
I've been playing with, and we'll get back to AI in a sec, but I guess
Mm-hmm.
this is on the same topic, is authentication and
Yep.
doing all of that. So I've used Firebase. Firebase
Mm-hmm.
is my bread and butter for authentication. But I mean, obviously, there's other ones out there. There's Auth0, there's Okta.
Mm-hmm.
What do you use for authentication, and how do you use it in one of these tools? And I don't care which tool you pick.
So the answer of the day is Superbase. I haven't touched Firebase in quite a bit.
Yep,
It's just an open source variant of Firebase, right? But
yep.
I love it because it uses SQL queries, and I don't have to like. It's not hard to make a query to find something. So Superbase in V0, I got the authentication working in like 10 minutes. I just told it I wanted to implement Superbase. It um, I'm trying to remember if I did this locally, if I did this.
You're talking about this, right?
Yes, it's awesome. Using Postgres,
Super base. Yep, Postgres database.
it's pretty awesome, and
Oh, it
I love it.
literally has authentication as part of it.
Yeah, absolutely. It has pretty much on par with Firebase, all the features. And I think you can self-host this. I haven't gotten that far, but yeah,
Okay. Yeah, this is what I. So, what do you use Supabase with? V0 or Replit or both?
all of it, all of it across the board. Like so, let me give you the example, right? So in Replit, I can ask it to connect to Superbase. It'll integrate it. I'll add my key, and we're off to the races. In this scenario, my workflow would be pretty much the same thing. I would like just create the UI, pull it down in the cursor, and then say, "Hey, I want you to implement Superbase." Add my key, and it's done. And so, yeah, I think that's pretty much what I did. Um, I was telling you before, I got myself confused because I built my own workflow, and then I got so comfortable using V0, I forgot I wasn't using cursor, and it just did everything. It built the UI that I wanted, and then it hosted it in Vercel, and I forgot that I didn't have it local. I kept looking for my code base locally without realizing that it wasn't local. It was all hosted on Vercel.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I had
So,
to I had to remind myself to connect my GitHub repo to it, push the code so I could have a copy of
oh yeah, because you can connect it directly to your.
it to your repo.
Yeah, this was one of the first things I did on Replit, and uh, should be it loading. And you enter a year, and it generates a chart of how much time you have left.
Ooh, dark but good. I have a friend who's a designer, and he built a calendar of something like this, where it kind of just shows all of your moments. And when you see it like that, you get a lot more intentional on how you use your time.
It is very inspiring, and what's really cool is you can export it and print it and share it.
Wow, that's really cool.
And
Like, hey, don't waste my time. Take a look at this. Don't waste my time.
I wrote no code.
I can't.
Yeah.
So let's talk about this. the job market's a little wonky right now. I'm having trouble getting clients, but more important, I find myself mentoring and talking to people who are engineers who have tons of experience who are out of work. And my answer to everyone is like, hey, you know what? Let me sit you down and walk you through this workflow. You know, let's try to retool you, give you some more arrows in the quiver so that you can go out and find different customers. Maybe, and my whole argument is smaller, faster turnarounds,
Hmm.
right? Easier to get, easy hunt and peck, until we kind of figure out what this all means. And I spend maybe about 10, 15 hours a week doing that. Just
No,
talking to people, opening up sessions, and it's like, hey, watch me do this. And it just works. And they're like, oh, wait a minute. I don't, it's almost too much for them to understand that it just works.
it just works. No, and like I've been talking to project managers and other people outside of the tech world, and they're like, should I be worried about AI? And I was like, no, you should be embracing it. And I think
Yeah.
that's the big,
Especially product managers. Like I had a
absolutely.
project manager and product manager. I was like, listen, you could be super powerful. You can go talk to the customer, get the requirements, get a PRD, reduce that down to a prompt, and get started. Even if it's just a prototype. Like, let's assume that the code that is being produced is not worthy of a serious implementation. You can't argue that handing someone a fully functioning prototype is not valuable in the work that we do.
Right. And I think like finding market fit for applications now, it should be easy because you could actually do a product hunt launch like weekly, daily.
I hadn't even thought of that. Like, I hadn't even thought about that part alone. Like, okay, you're a founder. You're committed to be a founder. Okay, run your idea, build your prototype, get it on product hunt, and see what people say.
Yeah, and you'll get immediate feedback. Trust me, product hunt people are all about giving you feedback,
Mm-hmm.
good and bad.
Mm-hmm. Right.
But the other thing is, let's say you build a prototype with one of these and it'll take you a day. Let's be
Mm-hmm.
honest. Uh, a very, very focused day, but it'll take you a day.
So I think I disagree with you. Building something that you're just curious about, or maybe I got it wrong, because these prototypes that I'm building, in the beginning, they were just a lot of scratch my own itch. But now I'm building prototypes for other people. You saw the website that I launched for
Mm-hmm.
Galaxy Quest.
Yep,
That took me about 6 to 8 hours. I did a,
of course it did.
yeah. And the thing is, the first landing page that I built using the same similar tool set took me 14 hours. And I feel like it's
Well,
there are
that
times.
go ahead. Sorry.
I was gonna say there are definitely times that it just works, right?
Mhm.
But I try to keep reminding the people that I'm mentoring that you should be using your development skills. Like, you should be working in iteration. You should be pushing to repos. And I don't think a day, but I think a week, right? Like, I think like, and it's still a win. Like, it's still a win.
But even no, my point is you can get something out there in a day, and it'll be live. And then what you do is create, let's say that week you create 5 versions of it, and then
Mm-hmm.
you do. And this I saw this. I forgot what podcast it was. I think it was actually Diary of a CEO. Huge
Mm-hmm.
fan of Steve Bartlett. The guy's amazing. Um,
Okay.
anyway, but he's like, put out Facebook ads with 5 different versions and see which one gets the most attraction. And just say product coming soon, sign up, join our wait list and see where you get your most wait
Like,
list from.
traction. Um, I like that idea.
I
I've seen it in a few different versions. Like,
and and you don't even have to build a product.
no,
You
you
just have
just
to have an idea with a landing page and see which landing page, what name sticks, what landing page sticks, and like what people enjoy. Like what are they clicking on? And then at that point, the people that sign up for your wait list, you send them send them a link when you have that production ready code. And that will
yeah.
take another week. I mean, honestly, at that point, if they're signing up for a wait list, you can make it 30 days out.
Yeah, there's no pressure on that part when I sign up for a wait list. I mean, it actually gives you time to do the 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 soft work, right? The mailing list, the
Right.
newsletter, like
But you should have a deadline.
I agree with that, and also I've been saying this a
Goals
lot.
without
People
deadlines are dreams.
exactly. Also, don't be like me. Like I can build everything, and now I got this list of things, and
Focus.
I'm like,
Focus.
yeah, like no, definitely. Like I find myself in a very, I think I'm in a very interesting position because I had 3 meetings today, right? And I'm talking to this one founder. No, first of all, no one has any money. Like they're trying to figure it out. They're trying to get, early stage money. Ordinarily, I might like you, but I'm not gonna do all this work for free. This scenario allows me to be helpful to you in the case that something does happen, right?
Right.
So, but what one challenge is, I was like, I still have to be very discerning what I agree to work on because it's still time, right? So let's say take a day. That's still 8 hours.
Yep.
That's going back to your
And
calendar.
scope creep.
Well, I don't think that. See, okay, I like that you brought that up. I work like this. I talk to ChatGPT, and the only reason I use ChatGPT is because it's just I have the voice chat. I haven't used anybody else's. I heard Gemini's is supposed to be pretty good. I'll talk to it, create a PRD. That's it. Like I'm still using a similar workflow than I would do in any other consulting scenario. I'm not just like doing stuff. I'm
Right.
like, this is what we're doing. This is who it's for. This is, all the details. So I feel like that kind of holds me to something,
That's fair.
right? Yeah. And I certainly am teaching my like the people I'm mentoring, like do that. Like come in with a plan and the kind of what you were alluding to is like have a plan.
You gotta have a plan. Have a plan, have a deadline, deliver early, like UPod, right? Under promise, over deliver. Like you
Mm-hmm.
always give yourself a little buffer when you're setting up those plans.
Yep.
But deliver. Don't theorize, execute. Execution, execution.
I
Working
agree with that.
code always will win.
It was always my secret weapon. I would walk into a meeting, we would talk, and well, I had some time to think about what you said over the phone. Hey, take a look. Is this anywhere near what you were thinking? That worked really well I mean, it always
Right.
wins. It always wins.
Well, I mean, the thing that I'm learned over years is there are some amazing developers out there, and there's amazing um, applications out there, and no one knows about them. And
Mm-hmm.
that's when I have kind of backed off of what I just said. And this is kind of a little going back on what I just said about code always wins. Marketing actually always wins because I've
It's funny
seen
you said that
people
'cause
marketing things.
I didn't interpret that as code always wins because I think I would have said, I said it today. I literally said this today. No one pays you to code. You think that they're paying you to code. They're paying you to finish it, especially at a different level. They have challenges, they have problems they want you to solve. Yes, you're a wizard at code, but guess what? No one gives a shit. No
No,
one's gonna stick their head up your ass to figure out your code,
nope.
right? They does it work? Did it solve the problem? Can you
Does it do
demonstrate?
what I want it to do
Yes,
in a visually appealing way?
exactly. Especially the type of people who are paying the type of money that you're interested in making.
Mhm.
You got to disconnect. Listen, it's okay to get into a holy war about which JavaScript framework of the day is the it makes you special, right? It makes you feel best. But at the end of the day, no one gives a shit. Like it's kind of I get it that it might be sad a little bit, right? You should, as as practitioners of code, we want people to be impressed with it, but we're the only ones that are impressed with it.
Right. No, I mean, I remember when I first started coding and I want keep in mind I'm going back to when I was like 9 and 10 years old, right? And
Okay.
I would be doing things on my Commodore 64 and I would write something in code and then I would be, I think I can make it smaller and faster, and I would make it, and I'd make it more and more elegant. I mean, keep in mind I was on a Commodore 64, so memory was a valid concern,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
it made me write really elegant code at a very young age, and I would refactor and refactor, and I didn't even know what the term refactor meant, but that's what I was
Hmm.
actually doing. Nowadays, with all of the AI tools and everything else out there, I try and get a prompt as close as I can to what the goal is, and they're like, I don't like it. I'm not going to pull down that code and try and fix it. I'll throw it away and then write another prompt.
Yeah, and I use these tools that we're talking about in a similar manner. Replit, although it's changing, because it really surprised me last night or this morning. Um, that's my throwaway. I'm not really that invested. I want it to work, and I've gotten good enough to get every. When I first started using Replit, like I think kind of what you were saying, there's an assumption that it just works, but that's not exactly right. It
Yeah,
gets you on the field, right? Like, and I think sometimes that's the most frustrating part of Replit is I built something and it was like 95% there, and that 5% would not work. I was so frustrated. I will say I'll give a shout out to Replit's support because I emailed them. I was like, "Yo, why is this not working? Why is this experience almost there, not there?" They responded almost immediately. They were very helpful. They gave me some tips, and those tips actually ended up working. Um, so I use Replit, and I'm like, "Hey, I need a landing page. I don't give a shit. Like, I don't care about this topic or what this is. Let's get this landing page done."
right.
Boom, is pretty much done. You know, you got to work on design. I think design is a challenge for Replit in a way that is not for V0. Obviously, V0 is design focused.
V0 is beautiful.
Yeah, and it's all standard. Yeah, yes, it does make all web pages were already looking all the same, right? We all use the same web components. We all use the same interactions. And a designer would say that that's bad, but designers think that their job is to design for the sake of design. But we need a common language to share information, and that is when you manage designers, you will learn that you have
Right,
to say this often. Like you have to, yes, it's great, it's beautiful, but you can't change the icons because that's what people expect to see for those
right.
things,
Oh yeah,
right?
like it. I had a designer that wanted to redesign the X to close a window,
Mm-hmm.
and we compromised on an animation that would evolve into an X, and
Mm-hmm.
that was enough for them. But they're like,
Yep.
but it's still an X, and I was like, because everybody knows that the X is how you close things. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah.
I have dealt with that.
I've had so many epic battles. I've learned a lot in those epic battles because sometimes I was wrong. Sometimes, like I have a really great friend JD, and we would have these epic like conversations. Like he would design something, I would go, "This is too expensive," and I'll be right, but he would, without missing a beat, turn around and say to me, "Is it too expensive, or can you not do it?" And of course, you can't tell a developer that, right?
Right,
Like we were overriding designs for drop downs and doing all kind of stuff that that you couldn't do in a framework. You had to do it in a pure JavaScript, and my JavaScript was a little hanky. He was mostly right, but in the long view of things, did that impact the customer in a positive way that justified the extra amount of time? And
no,
most of the time, the answer is no. And that's not a knock to JD. I think he was right, but he was possible. First of all, he's well regarded as one of the best designers here in Atlanta. So I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. But sometimes it's just not worth it.
no. There's absolutely times where good is good enough. There
Mm-hmm.
was, I mean, you probably remember this. Do you remember when you couldn't style combo boxes?
Yeah,
And you would actually, and a designer would come in and go, no, we need that border of that combo box to be a gradient. And
this is exactly the scenario I'm talking about. The one I was talking about is exactly. And my friend Brian, he taught me how to overlay another combo box on top of it, and you know.
but now, I mean, CSS has got come so far that you can actually fix that. But I remember that we literally would have an input box that we would actually be able to style, and then have that arrow next to the combo box for the
Mm-hmm.
drop down. But that was an SVG that we had created that wasn't real, that we created a hover state for. It was insane of what we
And
had
for
to
what?
do.
What was the net? What was the net on that?
No, it was dumb. It truly
But
was
that's
dumb.
so funny because that's
It took us
exactly
like
what I
a
do.
month to
Yeah,
actually do it with like hover states, and then the input box to actually be an input, and the IntelliSense to actually still be the true drop down IntelliSense, and scrolling to work because the scroll bar next to that couldn't override where the SVG was, so we had to swap that out. Anyway, I remember that very vividly because of the
very,
pain.
very, very painful
Very
scenario.
painful.
It's like because the designer's like, yeah, I want this, and my JavaScript skills were, especially the front end JavaScript skills, were just not. But luckily, I had a lot of help.
It was, yeah, but that was, I mean, things have come so far in front
Yeah,
end now. And then
but
you
I
just go
do
to
think
V0 and tell it to do it.
yes, but what I want to say is still use those sensibilities. Like I still use them when I'm talking to all these agents, right? Even
Mhm.
though I have superpowers now, I still have to use them for good, right? I still have to use them for time. Like right now, I have the problem of now I have a backlog. Now I'm blaming myself because I'm overconfident that I can do it because now I can do anything. It's pretty much nothing you can ask me to do.
That's true.
So I'm talking to people and I'm committing to things and I'm like, shit, this still, even if it was 8 hours a thing, I have now I have this much work to do.
Right. You still have 80 hours worth of work this week. It's,
And then, a lot of because the nature of these prototyping, there's no real buy-in from the customer. They're like, we're building it, they don't like it, we take it out and back and shoot it. Right? Like
and
so
that's exactly, I mean, that's the view of code now is code is easy, right? You just get into V0, Replit, Claude, ChatGPT, any of them, and you just say, create a landing page that has this. I want it to have these kind of animations, make it pretty, and do that. Go. And they're like, no, that's not it. All right, run it again. And like some people will just run the exact same prompt again and it'll give you a different result. And they're like,
yeah, it's maddening, but yeah.
yeah, they're like, it's good enough. And
I had a conversation today talking to a client, like this the founder, and again, personas, who are going to be who's going to be using this thing, why are they going to be, what are their motivations, what are their outcomes. I think that if you could combine a great product manager with these abilities, you almost create like a new thing, right?
right.
And
You're and you need that great product manager with an eye for design. And that's the because a
I
lot of
like
the
that, but
yeah,
I'm more, I mean, yes to that. And or what I really care about is because I assume that any certain resource beyond a certain level of experience has like a general eye for design. But what I'm really
oh, customer first, right? Because who are you really? What problem are you solving? It should be
exactly,
theirs.
and it's 2025 and you still have. I used to have this little joke. I would be like, "Don't make me write that on your forehead,"
Oh yeah,
right? Because designers will just forget what they're doing. We used to have a sign above in my office. I put a sign up that said, "Remember why you started." And the designer, I have a picture of one of my designers looking up at it. It's a great picture because it's easy to get, especially now. Like you're saying, it's so easy to kind of get wrapped. So okay, we're having a conversation where we could start at something as simple as a landing page, right?
right,
I you know I would argue that Replit's great for that. The reason why I would argue that Replit's great for that is because you can immediately host it and get it in front of your customer in almost no time at all. Um, I would also, if I was telling someone to do this, I would say, hey, get the items together in a great prompt. I think you and I did this, or maybe it wasn't you and I. one thing that Replit does great, if you want to pull it up, when you write a prompt, it will say, "Hey, do you want me to rewrite this for you?"
Let's try it.
Yeah.
So if I go into Replit and what do you want to do? Let's actually do
Uh,
one. Let's do a live one right now.
yeah. Let's. I'm gonna recreate my clothing. So let's recreate a Shopify store experience for a e-commerce brand. It should have hero images, carousels for products, and should be able to add things to cart with a in cart animation, and you should be able to. What does a cart? What does the store need? It needs a cart. It needs product categories,
But it
and
should have categories.
a sale page.
It should also have. Yeah, let's see if I can do this. Where's my mouse? Did that zoom in? Is that better?
Yes, I can see it all.
Yeah. It
Um,
should also have sale page.
hold on, give me. I wanna just do something. I'm gonna give you one because it's not kicking up this little thing that I want you to see. Hold on. Give me 2 seconds.
Sure. Yeah, and while you're doing that, I'm gonna just
Hmm.
talk about some of this. So just to let everyone who's watching, there's DeepSeek, which is chat.deepseek.com. There's Gemini, which is gemini.google.com. There is chatgpt.com, which if you don't know that by now, then I don't know why you're listening to us. And then there's Claude.ai, which is another uh, chat program. This is personally my favorite. Just want to call Claude out. Anthropic, kudos to you. And I have all the pricing in regards to this, and this is something we were actually talking about what a token is and how many tokens. But we'll come back to that. Did you find it?
Give me 1 second. It's coming
Yep.
up.
And there's a lot of different pricing models that are out there right now. And some of those pricing models are crazy. But keep in mind, if you're going to build a wrapper for another AI model, uh, set a budget. I'm going to say it again, set a budget, set a budget. You will go out of business uh, or go broke in the process, one of the two.
I'm gonna send you something in chat.
Okay.
Hopefully this will do what I think it should do. Oh,
Is
great.
is
And the
that the
chat
prompt?
is limited. Do you have Can I email it to you?
Oh yeah, go ahead. And let's see if I
I'll
do
just send it to you.
this.
I
Are you
should.
still there?
I'm here.
Yep. Okay, so let's see if I can.
Oh, I didn't do it. You know why? Well, that was a anti-click
Oops.
on it.
Let's get back to this. Did you
Oh,
send? Oh, I got
well,
it. I got the prompt. Wow, that's quite
okay.
a prompt.
Yeah, it's pretty good actually. So actually, we could see it without the prompt. If you go back, I'll show it to you.
Oh, wait, hold on. Footer section all the way down to ensure the page matches. I got it. All right, let me close that. Come back to here. Get rid of that. Come back to here. Look at that. I got a stream deck and it makes the transition
It's so
so
easy,
nice.
right? Yeah.
Um, yeah, we will talk about OBS probably in the upcoming weeks.
Yep. But so one thing that it's doing that
Right.
they do
Remove
now is
attachment.
they put everything as an attachment. But if it was just text, see that little pencil right next to it?
Hold on. Let's see. I'm gonna see if I can there, and then describe an app. Yeah, this thing right here.
Yeah. It will improve your prompt and it is great at it. Why is it done?
It's pasting it as text.
Yeah, I know. It's still not worth it. And it'll work great, but it's just not a great example of what I was trying to show you. Um,
I wonder if I can. Hold on. Let's see. Paste as plain text. Yeah, it still does it. All right. Let's just see if it does anything.
I got it. Copy the prompt into notes and then copy it into it.
Yeah, that's what I did. I put it in VS Code, and it didn't work.
It didn't work. I copied it into notes. I think it's looking for maybe it's RTF or I don't know. But
Let's
like,
see. Let's see what this does.
and I love that it makes this contract with you.
Build the initial prototype. Yeah.
And I
So,
never select any of the additional stuff until it does the first thing.
uh, so just approve, plan, and start.
Yeah.
All right. We're building a prototype. Let's see what happens.
Yeah. And what we were trying to show was this little when that pencil lights up because it does. I find that it does a really good job at refining your prompt. It does like an excellent job.
Mhm. One of the things I learned today, uh, doing this right now with you, is if you put something in chat, it actually stays off camera.
Yeah. Yeah. Uh,
That was kind of cool. All right, so now it's creating the newsletter. That's fun. And this is Replit. So with Replit, so one of the things, like when you create a landing page, you want to create the wait list, right? You want to create the
mhm.
email wait list, and does that handle all of that?
Yeah,
In
you
Re-
can totally ask it to do that. You can and what I love about these things is that you could have no idea how waitlists work, and not only will it do it, but you can review the code. I found myself with the MQ broker thing I was doing last night. I mean, I used MQ Rabbit in the past, but it's been a long time.
I loved
So
MQ Rabbit. I remember that.
that's the IBM thing, right?
Yeah.
Just but I was able to look through the code and go, oh, okay, yeah, I totally get what it's doing, blah blah blah. It was great.
Are you kidding me? Holy
Yeah.
crap.
Click on that guy. Yeah.
Featured products, our story, what our customers say. Oh, and here's the subscribe to newsletter.
Yeah.
Oh, does this even work?
Yeah, the component is probably controlling that behavior, but I'm sure we can connect that to MailChimp or something else. Really
Oh,
simple.
it literally asked me, do you want to add a database?
Yeah.
I'm going to say yes.
I'm surprised it didn't add the database. So a lot of times they'll just add one. You can get the products in there. You can ask it to create sample products. I'll say something like add sample products with images from Unsplash.
Oh, Unsplash is great. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Pulling schema from database, changes applied. Wow, it created an entire Postgres database for me.
Yep. And you can go, it gives you an interface to go. If you click OK or got it, you can look at the well, it's still building it, but once it's done, you'll be able to look at it in an interface that I can see the content, I can edit content, stuff like that.
Oh, wow. So because it moved everything into the database, so I can actually almost use that database as a backend for a CMS.
Oh, you can absolutely not only that, and you can actually create your admin interface to the to the database.
What?
Click on the database. Click on the Postgres,
Yep.
and
Well,
then
there we go.
click on schema data. See, so you look at the schema, but click down in the bottom of it. Yep, and
There's
go
our
to products.
products.
Yeah,
There's our testimonials.
testimonials. Like people have no idea how much work this would have been in the other life.
Can I try subscribing to the newsletter with an email? Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if it has the plumbing for it.
Well, that's what I'm going to do, but I don't want to do that on camera because I don't want my email to be there, but I'm going to do it anyway.
But it would totally do it.
But no, I'm going to actually do it. Can you
You know what?
still
Let's take
can you
that
still
prompt.
see it? You can't see the screen
No,
now, right?
we're on DeepSeek.
Great, that's fine. Because I want
You
to
know,
go.
do you want to? Do you, we're kind of taking a lot of time with this, but do you want to take that prompt and go to V0 and see what it does?
Sure. Actually, that's a great call out because I'll come back to this because that was cool. Um, all right, let's go to V0 and do the exact same thing. V0. Can I just paste it? Yeah, there we go.
So one thing that V0 added was projects, right? So it will take, by creating a project, it will put all the files in its own folder.
Let's see how this does. I might need to upgrade my plan.
I think I'm on a $20 a month plan for this.
I don't pay for V0. I do pay for Replit.
So I'm paying for Replit, or I paid for Replit. I paid one for the year,
Right.
$120. Then I'm paying for V0. I'm paying for Vercel. That kind of threw me off,
Are you
right?
paying for ChatGPT?
I am paying for ChatGPT and I'm paying for Claude.
Okay.
And I'm okay with that. I mean, what are we at? Like 100, $150, and I can be dangerous. I do think that I'm going to shrink them down now that ChatGPT is close to Sonic 3.5 or Zero Mini 3, the reasoning model. It should be really close to Sonic 3.5 in terms of code. At some point I'm going to condense them. I'm starting to think maybe V0 instead of Replit because I think I can do similar things.
Yeah, Replit. I've been pretty. I mean, obviously, you want to see what I like, see where I spend my money, right? So
Mm-hmm.
Replit's great. V0 is amazing for front end. Claude, I love for Python. Like
Mm-hmm.
if I ever do Python, I start in Claude. Period.
Yeah.
Um, I don't use ChatGPT anymore. I
Yeah. I tell people honestly, the thing that really keeps me using ChatGPT is the voice assistant. It's so awesome to just be able to talk out my ideas and
no
keep.
Super Whisper.
He got me. It's on my list. Like literally, it's on my list.
I paid
But
for it. It's done. I
yeah,
I sat at my desk yesterday and I built an
just
entire
talking and
website
getting stuff
and
done.
my hands were up.
I gotta try this.
It's worth it. It was I just canceled it because I was like, no, I'm not going to sit at my desk
This
and
is too much. Yeah, this is
it's
too much.
it's too much. It was
You're
too
gonna be one of those
nice.
guys on
Like
YouTube, like, yeah, watch me build a whole, I'm gonna build a whole $1 million
I,
SaaS with
I'm gonna
no.
I'm gonna build a new crypto stock market and I'm not gonna touch my keyboard. And the truth is, with Super
Every
Whisperer
day of my feed.
and Replit, I think I can. I think I can literally just, yeah. The only thing I had to touch my keyboard is to trigger Replit. I mean to trigger Super Whisper. So
Let's
it looks
see,
like
what
it
is it?
froze. Oh no, it's still going. Oh, it's doing a lot. Let's see. Social proof, product showcase, personalized recommendations, newsletter sign up, limited time offers, hero section, header, footer. So it created the components. It's got the layout. It's got the page. TSX, that's all TypeScript. So it's using
Yeah, this is
React.
all types. Yeah.
all in all, I think it's generating good stuff. One of the things I've seen in a lot of these, though, is it has so many dependencies and libraries that it installs.
Welcome to modern day JavaScript programming.
And I'm like, do I need all of these? But
So let me
like,
ask you a question.
but no, just real quick, like you were saying, is does it really matter whether I need it?
I
Who
don't think it,
cares?
well, I think if you're the one who has to maintain it, it matters.
Throw
Like,
it out,
you
write
know,
another prompt.
no, I think there's a buy-in. I think there's a period where there's a buy-in, right? Like, hey, we're using this.
See here, runtime error.
Okay,
Use effect is not defined.
then just hit fix and let's see. But going back to what you said, I think if you after you worked on something to a point, there's a little bit of buy-in, right? And then the decisions start to matter.
Right. No, for sure.
Unless you were planning to throw it all the way at the beginning.
Well, and what I have done, I've used Replit as a, um, holy crap, here it is.
Mm-hmm. Scroll down. I think the hero image is broken.
The hero image is broken. There's featured products. There's a layout, limited time offer. Yeah, they don't have the
It's
images.
working. The tick is working. Ask it to add images from Unsplash, product images from Unsplash.
Oh, and there's the join our community.
Yeah.
Uh, add product images from Unsplash.
So as I've been saying, like this is how primarily I've been using V0, right? I would um, get this interface, I'll grab the code, pull it down into cursor, and then start going crazy with it, right? Like
Right.
add login, add all the other features I want. But what I'm what's starting to really kind of blur the lines is that I don't always have to do that. Like I could do because so V0 has this interface, right? But it also has a chat agent that's powered by Sonnet 3.5.
Yeah.
So you could just continue right where you are.
All right, let's see if we got product images.
No, the
Nope.
show, yeah, it doesn't do great with images, but I have had success with Unsplash. I'm not sure why I didn't do it.
It actually did, which I saw it actually added. Because if you look here, you can see the images
Yeah, I
right
see the
here.
images. Sometimes
Here,
test one
let's
of those images.
yeah.
Because
No,
sometimes, yeah,
that's good.
oh, it should have worked. Hmm.
So let's go
Oh,
back
wait, this is great. This is perfect. This is perfect. Go back to the UI.
and preview.
Use the little arrow.
Oh, let me go down to it. Yeah,
Oh,
right
up here.
here.
It's up here, right
Yep.
there. Now go find one of those broken images that you want to fix.
But they're
Is
not
there a
even. They don't even have the images being shown.
Yeah, try the hero image.
Yeah,
Click on that guy and just say, hey, this unsplash image isn't loading.
Unsplash hero image isn't loading.
But again, just to be able to have a UI that has almost like a Figma style interface where I can just grab it and go fix this.
Yeah, it's pretty
Because
nice.
yeah, because in the other scenarios, it would just rewrite the whole code.
Oh my god.
But there it is. There it is.
That's crazy.
Now you could do the same. Well, those are testimonials, but here you could do the same things for those product images.
Let's do that. Product image isn't loading. And I think that's probably going to be my limit for today in regards to
So I,
V0s.
I have a question on the way out. I have a Shopify account for my clothing brand,
Yeah.
and I'm paying $50 a month basically. I'm thinking I should just build my own site and just let it run instead
How
of
do you,
paying.
and you're going to have it through Stripe, right? as your payment
Yeah,
processor.
yeah. I'll do Cash App through Stripe. Yeah,
Look, done, fixed.
just took 15 minutes.
Wow,
Imagine what a week would do.
yeah. So we just
That's
created 2 landing pages. Well, actually, that's not true. We created 2 e-commerce pages, e-commerce websites in what, 20 minutes from when we
mm-hmm.
started. Wow, I need to save this one. That I'm gonna leave this out because I have a feeling you and I are gonna talk about this off camera because I want to
mm-hmm.
try the newsletter sign up and I don't want everyone to have my email address across the planet.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to dox myself.
We were supposed to talk about the pricing of things, and we'll circle back to that because
Yeah,
I think a good next question would be, what does that cost? What we did, what did that cost?
and well, we did briefly talk about some of the subscriptions that you have, and
Mm-hmm.
like I pay for like Replit and what was the other one? Oh, Claude. Oh yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
and,
I
and
don't
and
even
I
I don't even think about Claude. Claude's just kind of that's
that's
like
your boy.
that's like
Claude's your
the
boy.
that's like internet to me. You have to
Yeah,
pay for it.
yeah, I agree with that. I agree with that.
Cool.
Uh,
All right. Let's yeah, I'm gonna wrap this up and say good night and we'll be back next week. Maybe we'll talk about pricing. There's another thing. I actually took notes this time, so I remember. I want to talk about process and some
mhm,
of the workflow process. Like what we just did here was amazing. And
mhm,
it was really fast. And we did shortcut one and very important fact is
mhm.
that's a hell of a prompt you created. And
And it's
that
funny. It's funny because I was trying to get it to create a better version, but yes, it
But
was a good
see,
one.
and maybe that's something else we should talk about is like how to create good prompts and how to create a better prompt as you move forward
I
to
agree.
generate what you just saw real time.
Yeah.
So next week, maybe in 2 weeks, who knows? We'll
Yeah,
figure it out.
I'll get it on the I'll get it on the content calendar, and then
See,
we'll
we're
use it.
getting look, we're getting professional. We have a content calendar.
Yep.
So anyway, thanks everybody, and we will talk to y'all soon. Have a good night.
Peace, guys.